Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the Pen Sword Adventures, or just Pen Sword Live. I think that's what I'm sticking with calling it. Yeah. Welcome everybody. Yep. I'm back after a little break, impromptu. Was traveling out of town for an event, and then snow happened, and we got locked out of state, out of town, mostly out of town. So we're back. We're ready to rock. I've made a little game jam progress. For one, if you see to next to me, I've got the Trello board that will kind of help me keep on track for what we're doing. But yeah, I can show what I have been working on. Okay, I was in the middle of testing out something new here, but we'll see if this works. Okay. So here's where we're at right now. We're able to move around. We can jump. We can pick up the object, and we can hold it down to throw the object. That's kind of where we were at the end of last stream, I believe. But I've added new things. For one, you notice that object returned right to my hands. I've got a whole bunch of different little little ticks I can use on the object to kind of give it different properties. So don't know if it's very visible on the smaller screen, but I can have it set to auto return to the player's hands. I can have it auto catch when I throw it at another player. Yeah. Can jump around. I'm actually gonna restart it, and then I can show you the damage mechanics I've had. So if you see here, I've got in the bottom right, current health is set to a nice healthy 5, but I'm gonna enter this danger zone. I'm gonna take damage over time until I pop. And currently you just instantly respawn at a different spawn point. I've also got a dodge mechanic in the game, so if I press the dodge button, I become invulnerable for a moment. I kind of give that transparency just for now to show that you're invulnerable, but you can also dash with it. So I'm hitting movement and the dodge button at the same time, and it gives me that invulnerability as well as give me a little movement boost. With that, I've made a mechanic so you can. There are certain walls that you'll be able to kind of just dash through. So I can go whoop. So they're solid until I hit the dash button. And I can also do that with like danger areas. So here we got this wall that if I walk into it, I'm gonna get stunned and knocked back a little bit. But I can dash right through it, and I think that's gonna be really helpful for making some fun environments to play in. Yeah, it's coming together pretty well. Let me spawn in another player so I can kind of show you some other mechanics. So I'm playing now on controller here, and all the other mechanics are there. I pick up the object, I can throw it and have it instantly return my hands. I have some knockback. Currently have the damage turned off on this object, but I can add, damage value so it hurts when you hit someone with an object. Uh, I have made it. It took me a while, but I made it so if you die while holding an object, it will just drop the object instead of you holding onto it past death. It also, when you toss this auto return object, it'll return to your hands after it kind of settles or after a few seconds. And I've made it so if you die while that object is out, it won't boomerang back into your dead hands. That also took too long to figure out. Camera is also a lot better now. I can have it zoom out to multiple players. And when you get closer, it kind of zooms in a little bit better. And even just the tracking's a lot better. It kind of tries its best to kind of get everyone more centered on screen. So yeah, I think it's been coming along pretty well. But we got a lot while I was out and about. I did kind of create that list of tasks on the site Trello to kind of keep me focused on what we need to do, and we have a good few tasks we need to get to. So for that, first things first, I need a second environment. I've got a little system here where I can have two sets of environments, and hmm, that's not great. How do I make it so if everything is invisible, off? I want it so I can have things visibly not there, and then also not have all the physics automatically turned on. This is what we're going to do. A little Googling. Let me think about this. Oh, I might have lost you all for a moment. Everyone okay? The stream cut out weirdly there. Hopefully, we're not having internet issues again. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to quickly Google Godot turn off collision when not visible. So let me close my password manager. Sweet. Okay. I am also going to get some music going. Just be aware, we might not be going for all too long today. I'm going to try to go for at least 2 hours, but I've got, depending on if weather conditions are good, I have some other tasks I need to get to today. So we shall see how much I can get in today. Yeah. There we go. Music's playing on that end. I can hear it. Let me check on OBS. Yep. Okay. Let me know, those in chat, of how audio sounds. Uh, yeah. Yeah. We were doing pretty well in town for a good while here, but the Midwest area got real hit with snow. So if roads open up, I have places I need to get to. But I mean, if we're snowed in, then I can be here as long as possible. Let's go. All right. I think I said in one of the early streams, please pardon me if like my character just kind of gets stuck looking at the camera for a good while as I just kind of forget to reset it. Okay. Enough space for now. Actually, we'll move all these. These are my spawn points for the second environment. Basically, the way the game is going to work, I'm gonna demonitor for a second. So the way the game is going to work is that you're going to have basically it's going to be you go into a different planet. You drop down, teleport down, you do your little task, and then at the end of it, you'll get teleported back up to this like spaceship environment, and you'll get ranked on like how well you did in that environment. So player 1 got 2 points, or like the top player got 2 points, second player got 1 point, third and fourth tied for 0. You'll get kind of ranked in this little kind of like, I guess, podium, I guess is what I'm going to call it. I'll make a little podium environment in a bit, but for right now, I just want to be able to have physics turn off in an area when they're not visible anymore. Disabled mode. Ooh, okay. Let's try something like that. Does that remove? Yes. Sweet. Okay. So as long as an environment is not visible or is set to disabled, it should automatically switch things. Great. Perfect. Oh. Okay. Environment. I'll make a environment script. And we'll do something real simple for environment control. So I'm coding on stream again, so I need the big text. When ready. Give it a little extra. That's just for all you out there in YouTube land. You get to see the text big. Okay, when we start up, we're going to get the visibility changed. .connect. So this is good. This signal will fire out visibility. Ooh. It's amazing how quickly, while programming, words just stopped looking like words. Like we're barely. Wait, we're about 14 minutes in, and already visibility does not look like a real word anymore. Yeah. I want to switch from top chat to light all chat. Okay, cool. If visible, then process mode equals pausable. There we go. Else process mode equals node.process disabled. Okay, real simple code here. Basically, when the game starts up, or this environment shows up for the first time, it's going to grab the signal for visibility change and basically attach, basically a cord to it. Say, whenever this is signaled, it fires out an event, it's going to do this function, which is right here. It's going to see if we are visible, then we are going to make it so the process mode, basically like how everything in how this object and all of its children will handle things, it will switch it to pausable. So it will anything in the environment will be able to be interacted with and used until it's paused. When it's paused, everything just freezes. But when we are invisible, so when we're invisible, it will be set to disabled. So nothing will calculate, nothing will be used. Yeah. Debug, what was the dialogue feel? Actually, there was one thing I was working on earlier that was like pickup. Even like pickup didn't seem like a real word, like within a few like lines of code. I use it so much. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so environment control. Up. So if I'm right, that should mean we are in business. I'll still see all of the physics wireframes, but none of them will affect me. Like, I should not be able to stand where I am right now. I'm also going to attach that environmental control to the ship. This environment in quotes. Yeah, dialogue. There's the Calvin, like the Canvas Live program I'm using for my little Calvin puppet I made. I had to use like the file dialogue system in Godot to like be able to like change, like open up a file browser to find like a new shirt to wear. And the dialogue soon became just a nonsense word very quickly. I'm right. This should mean... Nope. I think I'm going to have to handle the camera in a different way. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to basically make a dummy camera. So I can set up everything how I want for this camera with its settings and everything, and then when I tell it to, the camera up here will come down and like assess and like become that camera. I think that's the way to do it. We'll call it Camera Dummy. Oh, while you're here, Dylan, how is the audio sound? Am I too quiet? Is the music too loud? How are we feeling? Yeah, thank you for catching the pronunciation gimmick in the episode 2. I really enjoyed kind of sneaking that in. If I'm right, I believe I also like in the captions made it so like they show up differently. Cool. Thank you for checking audio for me. Hmm. I mean, this belongs to another scene. That's weird. Okay. We're making a new group. Camera dummies. Actually, I don't. I might even need the script. I'm at that stage of programming where I'm kind of just overthinking a lot of my decisions. Every decision feels like, okay, well, I want to do this thing, but I need to make sure I do it, in this specific way before I even get to the actual bit. Get to here. We're kind of deal with camera stuff first, because I think that's important before we can even move someone. Yeah, I might. Okay, music is just a skosh louder. We'll see how we feel about that. If yeah, sometimes you just overthink the programming. Punk. I'm going to say. Okay, so in this, let's get just a reference to the camera. I do believe the song gets a little loud, so I'll turn that down a skosh. Just camera, we are going to camera control dot global position equals our global position. Rolling up my sleeves. Camera control dot rotation. Global rotation. Global rotation. And then oh, I could share so many fun stories of just like programming just kind of falling apart for me, man. I think even recently, like I don't know how many times I'll like write a whole bunch of code for like 10, 15 minutes, hit play and be like, okay, why is none of this code happening? And then I look back and it's like, oh, I add all these new functions and variables and everything, but nothing in the actual script actually uses those, I'm going to look up my documentation attributes. All right, I wish I could just get all the info for the camera. Yeah, I think what we want for sure is the FOV, clipping. Let me see this. We want, also let me drag camera control in now so I don't forget later. I want to have our FOV equals FOV, camera control, near, camera dot near automata, near. Man. Coding brains are something else. So I really do not need to be rendering at 4,000 meters of nothing. we're at it, let's just kind of crank this one down to 1,000. I think that should be good for now. I'm going to now add a new variable to camera control called static camera. Bool equals false. If it's static camera, then just return early because we're not moving that camera. Yes. All right. I think I'm going to do another real easy thing here. Func. If visible in tree. Invisible in tree. Yeah. It's different than the visible, just regular kind of variable, because invisible, basically, you can have things. So let's say I've got my environment here, and it's got all this stuff in it. If I make the topmost node invisible, it's going to turn off the visibility for all of these. But technically, everything in here is still toggable to be visible. And if you just say, is this thing visible? Well, the ramp would be like, yeah, of course it is. It's still on. But even though you can't see it. Visible in tree will basically check the visibility of the object of the node and then go all the way up the tree to see if everything above it is visible as well. So now, ready? So does this get called for also? Yes. Sweet. So in theory now, I've got my ship environment that when visible, it should automatically transport. Yes. Okay, I didn't set the static camera bit, but that's otherwise we're good there. Sweet. Static. Also set that first. I'll need to also reset the camera control camera dot position equals vector 3.0. Because something I did, I think this morning or last night, I can't remember, time has lost its effect on me, is I've got my camera control here. And it's a node, but it's got the actual camera that's like rendering the scene attached to it. And what that allows me to do, how do I make it so I can just move locally? I know there's a way to change how my transform. No. Oh, there we go, local space. So the camera can be aiming with this main node here, rotating and doing all that, and then the camera itself can like dolly in and dolly out, while still keeping the same rotation. Just makes it a little bit easier for old Calvin here. But now, static camera. Sweet. And now I am going to do basically the opposite here. Grab my dummy. Paste. And I'm going to have it copy value. Yeah. I growing up, I learned, first scratch coding, so the blocks, and then I went and attempted to learn iOS programming, which uses at that point Objective-C, and then I went over to Unity, and that was C#. And then in college, I learned a little bit of Python for my animation and rigging class. And then I did Godot, and Godot is kind of a combination of all of them in a way, because you've got kind of the tab line breaks of Python. You've got paste this. You've got the kind of the structure, I feel like, of C#. It's a little C#, a little Objective-C. You can do more Objective-C stuff with all that, but yeah. And I like a lot of what GDScript does, just because a lot of the stuff you feel like you'd need in your coding language is right there. So if I need to, tweening things, so just setting up a function to basically move something over time, that's all right there. You can do it inline. It'll calculate all that stuff without you having to constantly check on it. Okay, and I'm going to move this down for a moment just so I can make sure our code works. Hide that. Woohoo! Crash! It happens indeed. Let's see here. Okay. What are we doing wrong? Invalid assignment of key. Still a camera, right? Oh, I bet I know what's wrong. I think I don't want to swear to it, but I believe Godot calculates all of its nodes from top to bottom. Yep. So basically the problem there was I had my dummy camera trying to set the FOV of the camera on the camera control. But since it was above that node, the camera control hadn't figured out what its camera was at that point. So that was our issue. But now, if I turn off static camera, we should be ready to roll. Yes! I made a game control script real near the beginning of this thing, and I have not touched it in a good while. As you can see, it's not really doing much. Control. Camera. Control. Just drag that in now. And for now, I'm just going to make a dummy list of environments. Yeah, and then it has the spawner name like assigned, and then it didn't do anything with it. Environments. Get an array of environment. Let's name the one thing I question with GDScript is that you have to manually name a new script with a class name. I guess if you're just wanting something real quick and dirty for a quick script, that's fine, but it feels like anytime you'd want to actually, deal with it. Yeah, yep. Having assigned is half the battle, but only if you have something do something with the assignment, And also going to save a direct reference to the ship environment. Hey, no sweat. Random. Random I from 0 to environments dot. It's going to be counter. Yep, count. Zoom out just a skosh. There we go. Size? Okay. And then going to go environments. Let's also just set a variable for current environment. Also, good news, everybody. Environment no longer looks like a word to me. We're there once again. Random environment. Set to that too, and I'm intending to make a character. The current plan right now is make this a real game today, and maybe a bit of tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow afternoon until 5 a.m. work on art. Art and level design. So I've got some basic character models I've made before that I can quickly get in here and tweak around as I need. I'm thinking kind of just, thinking kind of a kind of not chibi, but, kind of more exaggerated proportioned character. Plop that in there. Nothing too crazy for animations, but just enough to kind of like show off like, hey, look, I made some cool animations. Current environment equals environments. Random environment. Current environment dot visible. Else. Environment equals false. Yeah, yep. No, I've been trying my best to kind of treat this like a real kind of game development, but just truncated. So I've been really focusing hard on making sure that that camera and just like the general movement feels real good before I even get any art or anything. Planning on doing all of the art stuff in my usual 3D program, Blender. Let's see if that's on the hotbar. Not right now. Okay. Doing all that stuff in Blender with both modeling and animating. And if I need to do any texture work, I will use the drawing program Clip Studio Paint. Man, Blender is free. Clip Studio Paint, at least at one point, was a pay it once kind of deal. I'm not sure if it's still that anymore. Yeah. Sorry, I'm in thought currently. Well, thank you. It is on the wide scale plans of one day doing a Blender tutorial, either series or just like maybe like 2 or 3 videos. I getcha. But yeah, I would love to do a Blender tutorial at some point, just because I've learned Blender through really good tutorials, but I think a lot of Blender tutorials kind of overgeneralize to a point where it can becomes more confusing than anything, if that makes sense. Where it'll be like Blender as a program is made to be like an entire animation package in one program. So if you kind of try to teach it with that mindset, you kind of risk a lot of just kind of confusing or like overwhelming people. Yeah, thank you. So yeah. Environment 2. Yeah, they can get very confusing very fast. So if they're, I think a lot of them basically as soon as they like break out to like uh the the particle effects or like geometry nodes, it's like no, you're way too early for that for this kind of tutorial. So don't be bringing out the complicated geometry nodes editor when people just kind of want to know how to even access anything. Okay. I'm now going to. Yeah. One thing that every Blender tutorial should bring up real fast is that like undo in Blender applies to like every single thing you do in the thing. So selecting an object is added to the undo stack. Like changing menu. Yeah. Like selecting an object is on the undo stack. Moving the object is on the undo stack. All that, and then in the settings, you have to like tell it, I want more. I want the history to go back further. Otherwise, it's like you have 2 clicks and then you're done. Yeah. No, I will definitely get around to that Blender tutorial at a later date. The date is quickly approaching because I also want to use it to teach my 3D animation friends who know 3D animation but not Blender in specific, so they can work on pen sword adventures with me. Okay. We're switch environment. If the ship is visible, we're going to turn off the ship. We are then going to create a new list of possible environments based on this list of environments. If we have a current environment, we are going to remove it as a possible one just so we don't have a duplicate. Random environment, it's then going to randomly choose one. Inclusive. Okay, bad. It will now choose one from the list of possible environments, and it'll say, okay, that is our current environment, set to visible. If the ship is invisible, which means there's a current environment, we're going to set that to invisible, set the ship environment to visible. So now, temporarily, I'm going to now add a new button. Switch environment. Let's also change the name. Switch environment button. Also, yeah. Actually, we're testing it now to see if this actually works. So we'll then move our Trello around. Game control. Switch environment. Okay. We all set up. We all ready to rock. Yeah. No. Don't think me. I want to do it. Don't think you're rushing me into wanting to make a Blender tutorial. It's something I want to do. I'm trying to give you hope that it will be here soon, if that makes sense. Okay. We are on the ship. Ooh, wow, I did so good at that last round. Oh, and then the environment switches. Woohoo! I'm playing. I'm having so much fun. I'm going to die. Let's see if that does. Blah. Did I? Oh. Oh, that's a fun quirk. I had Focus. Focus mode, none. Basically, every time I was hitting the space bar, it was re-clicking the button. That is now fixed. Okay, sweet. So I can switch from the planet to the ship, to a new planet, to the ship, to a new planet, to the ship, to a new planet. I'm going to now add a little bit here to the camera control. So when I have it teleport, it'll instantly do its calculations of where everyone is on screen. So we don't have that drift every time. So let's take all this. Thank you, yeah. I've been trying to do my calculations for how long a pen sword adventures takes place. No sweat. Yeah, I've done my calculations, and the upcoming episode 3 took about 2 months ish, but I started that in November, and then you had all the holidays get in the way, so 2 months is about right, but also I can probably do it faster if I didn't have a whole bunch of holidays, and it also is a little bit determined on the topic at hand. Like, that episode 3 is going to have a lot more research involved than other episodes. Episode 4, little insider scoop, is currently in the works, and that one, the scripting went pretty quick, and then now a lot of the work is just video editing. Bunk. I'm going to have all this there. Okay. Yeah. I actually, episode 3 is going to be a little under, I think it's around 45-ish minutes. Yeah, thank you. For no problem for the inside scoop. Episode 3 will be about 45-ish minutes. Episode 4 is looking to be around about an hour. But episode 3 also has a few segments of overly complicated animation for what the topic is, you know? So episode 4, I'm kind of learning, like, what are my limits here? Thank you. Yeah, you gotta get it in early on the Pen Sword Adventures clout. You're already earning a lot of respect, Dylan, just for being so far like the most recurring viewer, and so I appreciate that. If instant, just nope. Copy. Also, just for my own sake, I want to point out this code I wrote for rotating the camera to face the target. It took me forever to figure out what to do here, because the just rotating an object to point towards another object on the on one axis was easy enough. There's many tutorials to do that. This kind of rotation was really easy. As soon as I wanted to also track up and down, I was on my own for that. And I finally figured out, basically, I need to create a line visually, a line between the camera and the target I'm tracking, figure out the distance of that line, and then I can use that with the standard ATAN2 function for that the other rotation uses. The problem was, as soon as I like moved a character like on an angle, yeah, I had to like do like the trig of a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Yep. We got there in the end. Yeah, instant. Yeah. In my office currently, I have like a whiteboard, like just kind of attached to the wall, and I just went over there late at night and just started like writing, uh, like my different functions on the whiteboard, being like, okay, how do I get this to work? I was just not quite getting it, and it finally clicked that I was, because the problem was the camera. As soon as you go up and could go forward and backwards and track vertically very easily, but as soon as you got at an angle, it was way off. It was like way too low or way too high, and that was when I realized I was calculating basically only this vertical line, as it were, and so I needed to kind of calculate that diagonal instead. Even trying to explain how I came out of the insanity sounds insane. So. But we are out of it now. And now a camera dummy. Camera control dot. Track targets. So we can do that, and then boom. Ooh, okay, something's not quite right there. Oh, I know. If static camera equals false. Dylan, are you talking about Pepe Sylvia? Everywhere I go, Pepe Sylvia, Pepe Sylvia. There's whole boxes full of Pepe Sylvia. No, here, I have a better reference image. Let's see if I can bring it up. Your stream window. If you're familiar with the show Marvel's Agents of Shield, there's an ongoing plot line of a character for a little bit, like just kind of like writing runes on a wall that they're not even like consciously aware of like what they're writing. It's just kind of like compelled mentally to them. That's what I've been kind of under for a little bit. Oh, didn't mean to go full screen like that. Apologies. All right. Switch. Sweet. Okay. It might be time to actually use the assigned player spawner now. Player spawner check. Spawn? How about? No, I believe. Oh, and a lot of this I'm going to like do some kind of like tweening and like delays in animation to later. It's just right now I want to make sure the thing works before I try and make it look good. Yeah, no sweat. Don't ever feel like you're obligated to watch along. I appreciate the views, of course, but you know, I don't want this to be a deterrent to anyone. But yeah. I think that we are making good progress. I'm going to move all this stuff to my complete tab. Okay. I think we need to do... Actually, first we need to start locking some of these places down, I think. We got a floor currently, but we could easily escape, so let's make a wall. I'm just kind of just digging the music from the selection. I know it's music I'm selecting, but I haven't heard all of the album in a good while, so it's been nice. Been nice. Okay, can that pocket a little bit. Okay, the other wall was fine. Are they not equal? Wall 2, 6. Yeah, this one is 5. Okay. Simple enough fix. Bup, bup. Warning the stream. Yeah, wait a minute. I'm getting a warning. Bitrate's low, but I'm still says I'm doing good on my end. So, if things get real funky, I can upload a nice clean recording later. But we'll just kind of hope for now. Now, the real test is what happens when I do this. Gotta be honest, I have forgotten what that does, what my character's supposed to do. Spawn. If we have... Oh, just delete it. Okay, that's... I guess that's one way to do it. Okay. I'll need to make that spawner here real quick at some point. We are quickly approaching the point of no return of where I have to actually make this a game. And that terrifies me. Well, let's just make some HUD, I think. If I delay it, then I don't have to do it. I'm also going to... Okay, well, let's do this here. We'll do this. Say it's like 1 minute. Set that to center. Set, top alignment. Layout. Let's make that text big. Nice 782 sounds good. We'll drag her down a little. Actually, moving temp HUD back. There's still more stuff I need to do with the environment, I think, before we can start doing things. We need, for instance, a prop spawner. All right. So we're gonna do one of these. Nope. That's something good. I will use this one. Whatever. It's not a window. Okay. It does not matter, but it matters to Calvin. Hi, welcome back. Thank you for joining us, my friend. We're just currently working on more of the game. Let's see here. I want a packed scene. Currently, I am working on a way to spawn these pickups. So we'll have a little pickup spawner. And we'll have a list of spawn pickups. New pickup. Hello. Yes. Hope you've been having a good week. Sorry, I've been kind of gone for the last few days. Just weather and things. Equals new pickup dot instantiate. Yes. And then new pick, and just add child dot new pickup. Just make sure they're attached. And I want to make sure on maybe like one position above. New pickup dot. I did take a look at your game a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't sure like how much of it was your own work, but I mean, as long as you on your end were kind of learning from it, I think you did pretty good. Yeah, just the process. I mean, the first game I ever, in quotes, you know, game I ever first like made in quotes was just like someone else's like Pong game on Scratch, and I just kind of mixed up some of the code to kind of make it my own. And so, as long as you're kind of learning the process, I think it's fine. It's great. Just keep on at it. Keep on working on learning from other people, and then making your own stuff. It all works. Yeah. Good job on working on it. I will say, just for futureness, I probably won't be saying, "Hey, send me an email." I realize in retrospect, probably not a good idea to be encouraging people to like send me emails. So it was fine for this one time, but I probably won't be. I'll it will be on me to not be like, "Hey, people who are watching me, send me stuff." You know. Oh, nice, nice. No, I mean that's impressive. I mean, if you do add stuff like jumping, I mean that's always a big task for a lot of programs, regardless of how long you've been working on them. And mm-hmm. Very generally spawn and spawn pickups if spawned pickup dot valid. Then spawned pickup dot three. I also checked just to make sure that it's not attached to anyone. Pickup control, is there a way to just... Yeah, okay, there is a release. Good, good, good. Okay. So if that happens, we can... Up. Dot release. Okay. That unknown another variable. Sorry, I'm kind of quiet at the moment. I'm just kind of, I'm in that kind of that stage of game development where you gotta really like focus in on like what are we doing next. I'll hopefully be able to kind of show off what we got so far in a second. Is it changed? Okay, if we are visible, then I want for pick up spawner in pick up spawners. I want you to pick up spawner dot spawn. Come on, new pickup. Okay. I'm going to make this save branch as seen. Test pickup. Test. Okay. What signals are we doing here? Okay. Spawned. Test pickup. Okay. Now for the environment, I want create a list of these guys. Pick up spawner. Just see if this works. Good sign, good sign. I'm going to now do the opposite and destroy all pickups. I'm going to turn this one down just because it has words, so it might be a little hard to follow. Okay. So in theory, I should come back and... Or this is going to be... Problem already. Oh, I know the problem. There we go. And run around in our little ship. Switch. And my object didn't come back. Switch to a new environment. Switch back. Sweet. Yeah, okay. So if you're just joining us now, we are working on our game jam. I've made some pretty substantial progress. We now can take damage in these little damage zones, like here, or so. You can also take damage by being hit by an object sometimes. If you want to avoid damage, there's a dodge button now that will have you dodge in place, or with movement, do a little dash that should get you out of danger. The dash allows you to go through certain walls that I'll set up to be more visually dashable through, like this. I can also let you get past these little stun walls. Hey, welcome back, Dylan. We're making good progress here. We now have these pickup spawners. So in this environment, I've got this one little object. If I switch back to the ship, I will not have the object on me. Goodly, thankfully. I'll go to a different environment, go back to the ship, and when I go back to the first environment, yep, there will be a new object spawned fresh for me. Sweet. This is good progress. Now I'm going to make... For one thing, I want my destroy on contact. Actually, pick up spawner. Okay, queuing free. We'll now be figuring out what object is freeing itself. Freeing. Okay. I will now make on the pickup control a signal. Signal. Queuing. Queuing. Free. Okay, pickup control. When we spawn in a new pickup now, I will now set up new pickup. Queuing free. That connect. Okay. So now I'm going to over here. I think there's a way to know when an object is queuing free. Let's see here. Is queued for deletion. Sweet. Okay. Well, queue free. Unlike object free, this is not doing this because for delete just. No sweat, no sweat. Use as many different accounts as you need. I mean, it helps. if jokingly, if everyone wants to quickly log in with their own like 5 different burner accounts, that'd be great. That'd just, you know. I know there's a way to look up notifications. Free delete. There we go. Viewing free. .emit. Okay. And I need emits self. If detonate on impact. There we go. Then queue free. Elf. If you ever see me write elif, that's else if for Godot. So if, else if, else. If this thing is true, then do this. If this thing is true, do this. Otherwise, just do this. Okay. I will now hit my test pickup. Ooh, turn off. Detonate on impact. Yeah. Yeah, so in other languages they'll do like an else if like that. I think they just kind of make it so it's all one word. I don't know if it's something I like or if it's just a thing, but that's how it be. Ground. If detonate on impact. Q free. I throw that and it's gone. Make sure we got no errors. There's one thing it says. What's the frame? Okay, yeah. So now that's there, we can go if spawned pickups.contain.has pickup free. We're just doing a little cleanup to make sure everything looks nice. Remove, erase, pickup free. I'm also going to make a thing here. Export var spawn pickup equals bool. And for right now, we'll have it set to true just so I have to think about it. And then we'll respawn pickup. If respawn pickup. Then we're going to spawn new pickup. This a little bit bigger screen. Swap, swap, swap. Okay, so that should crash, pop. Sweet. I'm going to make a check statement here. If visible is visible in tree equals false, return. So hopefully that should make things a little nicer. Yep, okay, so now it won't spawn in more objects right as it's being unloaded. Ooh. Okay, I think I need to change my respawn code to make it so you aren't jumping right as you respawn in. Current coyote time equals 0. Actually, what's... I think I got my coyote time backwards. I can't remember if I explained this last time, but basically coyote time is a game, a little trick where it will make it so if you're like right on the edge of a ledge when you hit the jump button, like, so say I'm like, Shoot. Say I'm like right on this edge here, and I hit the jump button like right at the last second. It'll still let me jump even if I'm a little a few pixels off. It's just a nice little like measure to make sure that players don't feel like they're being cheated out of a jump. But here I will be cheating them out of the jump. Okay, sweet. So I think now, if I hit jump right as we swap, it won't let me. No, it will. Okay. How do I want to kill the velocity? Velocity equals vector 3.0. So I've hit jump right as we swap. Sweet. Yeah, I think that's good looking. Okay, so we have created a prop spawner. I can make new props, put them into a nice little environment. For my own sake right now, I'm going to make it so I'm ready. So now I can go ahead and mess around on a new environment. Like say that, and then I can hit play, and it will automatically swap things over, except no, it won't. For each environment. In environments. Environment dot visible equals false. Sweet. Okay. So now I can edit things in an environment, play around with it, and then I can hit play, and it'll just get me into the actual scenario I want to be in. Sweet. Okay. I need to take just a few seconds to check the weather, because it's going to determine how much longer we're going. So give me one moment. Okay, the app, it says the roads are partially covered, but it's better than what the morning said when they said they were fully covered. So I think we got about 20 more minutes left in us. Let's see what we can get done in 20 minutes. Okay. Let's look at our list. I want zones. Here, let's see. Do I have that as one of the... No. Also, I kind of made the ship environment. That's fine enough. Point zone. Zoin. I guess we also need to grab our track points. All right. So, yeah, I can do this in the player manager. Yeah, I'm planning for now on streaming tomorrow. It might be a little bit later in the day, so I've been enjoying working on stream for a lot of this, but I'm still kind of in that stage where I think I work just a little bit faster and better when I'm not having to kind of talk and juggle some things. I do still really enjoy streaming. It's just I need to get a little better at being able to juggle in my mind a little better. But so I'll get a little bit more progress done in the morning and a little bit of the afternoon, and try stream a little bit later tomorrow, Saturday. Hopefully, maybe I'll also be to the point of doing art then, so I can show you cool guys my art skills in quotes. Okay. Player manager. Go round. Points. 0. Yeah. Oh. Always remember your commas, folks. Yeah. Like I said, I'll get better at being able to stream. It's just for right now. I think once I in the coming weeks I'll get more into like just not programming but playing on stream. And I think that will give me more time to kind of figure out how to juggle being entertaining while doing a different task. No. There's a way they want me to do this. Let's see here. Player manager. Total points. Get player data. Set player data. Sweet. Game control. For each. Thank you, Dylan, for the support. Sorry, I didn't see your message there for a second. Player manager dot get player indices. Player manager dot set player data. Player round points, and we're going to set it to 0. Okay, so and for right now, I'm going to make just a dummy function called calculate round winner. Yeah, for the episode, I mentioned a lot about how I wanted to do local multiplayer games as in specific, and it's not that I'm against like online multiplayer, and I would like to do both, where you can have like maybe even like 2 or 3 people on one system, and then they they play out to some other group online. It's mainly just I want to make sure the priority would be, you know, having 4 players or more like on one system in one location. Because it was always a thing growing up where it's like, oh man, a new cool game is coming out and it has like online multiplayer, but like there's no way to play it locally. So if you want to play with like, you know, in my case, a sibling, you'd have to like get another, like at worst, another like console and another like game and all that. So I'd love to just be able to make the local multiplayer games that I wish existed. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna, for now, debug manager dot debug print. Oh yeah. I think my perspective on local multiplayer is mostly kind of driven just by like I grew up with a sibling who we both like really enjoyed playing games together with, you know, with. So whenever it would be like I think the first, as like kind of like internet started rising and like we like games started losing local multiplayer. I think it was like Splatoon was like the one that in my mind that was like, this game looks really cool. I'd love to play it, but like it's only one player locally. So, and that was even like later in our lives. So we had done pretty well for local multiplayer games for a good while. Oh, froze. Oh, mentally. Okay. I did not freeze, or like stream-wise, my brain froze there. Coincidentally, the song playing is called Brain Dead right now, so I feel that. Player manager dot it. Player indices. Oh yeah. Yep. I remember. I remember it was, you know, like Star Wars Battlefront 2. Playing like, you know, like the local multiplayer, just instant action there, or going through like the campaign, or like the Rise of the Empire campaign, or Galactic Conquest. That kind of game is one I really hold in high regard, just because it has so much to it, and it feels like, you know, you can just kind of play with your friends locally there, and like on the Xbox at least, it had 4-player local multiplayer. Yep. Yeah. Oh, for sure, the original Star Wars Battlefront 2. Not the EA one, because the EA one was the EA Star Wars Battlefronts were another source of disappointment later in life. Of like, wow, really great. Only one player locally though, so like can't really enjoy this. There maybe one day I'll add it to the list of 10 Sword Adventures episodes of just the tremendous disappointment I faced with Star Wars Battlefront, EA's version. Or maybe I'll just do the decline of local multiplayer. And even like in the lead up to like EA's Battlefront 1, they're like, hey, yeah, there's a local multiplayer mode, but it's like 2 player split screen, and it's like a sectioned off mode that's not like plays anything like any of the other modes. Yep. You're not the only one. Yep. In my mind, I've got kind of like a web of like big inspirations for like if I ever got all the time and money to make my own local multiplayer games, and like Star Wars Battlefront's like pretty close to the center of that web of like this would be what I'd want to make, kind of. Okay. Well, thank you. It's definitely a down the line kind of thing. First things first. I'd want to get to the point where I could like maybe like apply for like grants and things for these bigger projects. A nice little thing about Godot. I think other like programming languages do this, where you can have like a string, which is a block of text, and you can put these little tags in here, and then outside of your block of text, you can say, okay, inject these tags with this data. So in this case, I want it to be the player number and then the score currently. Okay, so far, the answer here should be 0. Oh. First things first, you actually set the text. Well, in this case, I'd swap back to the, and boom. Yep. A lot of my desire to make the ultimate local multiplayer game, as it were, is just because I'd want to play the ultimate local multiplayer game. Okay, I'm going to... How quickly can I make just like a point zone? Here, oh, I can make it on danger zone. No. Do this properly. Going to kind of basically duplicate my little danger zone thing here. I will make it blue or something, though. Prototype. Green. Mesh. What's my surface look like? I remember what texture I used here. I used 05. Okay. We'll make you. If I do this, will it also change it on that guy? It will. Ooh, no. Shoot. The undo on Godot is a little finicky of like what it actually wants to undo and where. There. Changed it. Okay. Point zone. Attach script. And attach a new script. Point zone. I'll just kind of copy a lot of this. Okay. Mirror entered connects. If instant. Point. And don't do any of this knockback calculation. Just hitbox.owner.player index. I know that's there. I know it is. Player manager dot set player data to that and points equals actual current points float equals that and then just current points. Point dot bind hitbox. Okay. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be a little janky. Okay, I need the other environment. Scored no points that round. Hopefully I'm scoring points. Okay, and then let's get out of here. And then am I scoring points this round? No. Sweet. It ain't pretty, but it works for now to test that I can calculate points. And then next time I work on this, I'm basically going to make it a little better. So for one, it's not on the same place as the damage, because that could result in you being able to dodge through the ability to get points. I'll make it so if I want, I can have like a pickup be thrown into here and it'll destroy the object and give you the player points. for like kind of like a soccer or baseball or basketball kind of environment. And then I will also calculate who like the winner of that round was. I'll also have a score cap. I'll have actual UI to show how many points you scored, all that. But yeah, I think we're making good progress. All right. I wanted to turn off our music. All right. All right. Well, thank you once again all for joining me for today. Sorry if this stream was a little shorter than usual, but I appreciate you reviewing regardless. Uh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. I'll try my best to stream tomorrow. Might be later, just so I can kind of get some progress done in the morning. But yeah, thank you once again for joining me. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.